Hello, my beautiful friends. We are back. Happy equinox, happy April. We have arrived. I just wanted to remind you that I will be in LA hosting an event on the 17th of April and in Oakland on the 21st of April, and all tickets for that event is down below. Only one of the tickets will be available at the door, and you will have to pay in cash, and there will be an increase in price. So get them now so that we can kick it. We're going to do an abundance ritual. Something new that I haven't shared with anybody yet. We're going to be talking about how Chiron moving into Aries is drastically shifting the way that we integrate and heal our collective body, as well as how to find all of the magic that is unfolding around you every single day. Because using your intuition in mundane moments is extremely powerful, and it allows you to integrate your spirituality beyond prayer, beyond meditation, and things like that. For my New York friends, we are definitely having an event on May 27th. However, I may switch venues. Regardless, on the 31st, I am going to list the in-person reading time slots that are available. And for those of you that have sent me your email because you want to be privy to the information first, you will get access to those beforehand. And I will drop the tickets as soon as I have solidified whether I'm going to stay where we are right now or move it to a different spot. On the 31st, I am also launching some new services. A few are going to disappear, but not the ones that everyone loves. And I'm going to add some new stuff where my US friends can get gifts in the mail as well. So that's really exciting. I'm also in the process of getting certified for Reiki. So that's something that you're going to see in my services as well a little bit. And some of you have noticed that I did drop mid-month readings that covered career and love, and you only saw snippets because the rest is available to Siren Gang members. It is $10 a month. You get access to all 12 signs mid-month reading, career and love. They're separate spreads. And you get access to the weekly blog that I put out every single Sunday. And you get $3 off all my services all the time. Another exciting thing that I'm launching in May is a live stream for women only. It's going to be a sacred space where, again, we host ritual. I take questions from the live chat and all that good stuff. So as always, if you need to get in touch with me, you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at _spiritualsiren, or you can go to my website below, thespiritualsiren.com, and I'm always available to you guys. I love you so much, and here's your reading. Peace. Pisces. So these these four cards came out very quickly. I really didn't even get to do all the shuffling that I typically do. We do have the Ten of Wands as the overall energy of this section right here, meaning that, you know, life has been, I think, a little burdensome for you, Pisces, especially as it relates to over here with the Six of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Moving away from a time where you didn't feel capable, especially on a financial level, or potentially even feel worthy or capable of making a life for yourself that you're proud of, or having everything that you've ever wanted. Like, this could be like desires on like a domestic level. And I do feel that you're moving away from that time. However, before you fully move away from that time, we do have the Five of Cups and the Devil. It is going to still bring up all those fears around never having an ideal relationship, or never having, again, that I'm feeling home life, like that familial type of vibe, because you don't feel capable of bringing it to life yourself, or you don't feel like you have the money or the capability to ever sustain something like that. But these are all fears, okay? They're not real. They're just projections. And I feel that you're overwhelming your mind and you're overwhelming yourself, and it's just kind of clouding up your vision. It's, you know, if you wanted these things with a job or with a lifestyle or with a person that was very abusive to you in some capacity, because jobs can be abusive, you know, environments can be abusive and toxic. It's really not a loss. You need to remember that, because the Five of Cups talks about being upset about losing something when you have other things that are available to you. So it's like pretty much, you know, not all loss is really loss. And you have to remember that. And it's not to say that you shouldn't, you know, mourn whatever it is that you're going through, but don't allow it to really hang on to you, because the universe is trying to be really mindful of what you allow to depress you, if you will, what you allow to bog you down. And remember to check in on its validity with the Queen of Swords and the Page of Wands here. Remember that what inspires and excites you is of the top priority, and put that in the forefront of your mind, okay? This really does feel like opportunity to me. Or if you want children and you knew that person would never going to have children with you, or if you knew you wanted to live a creative lifestyle and more that was more like based on passion, or based on your spiritual practice, or based on having more freedom, and again that job or that person or that whatever was not aligned with that, remember that. Remind yourself of that. On what kind of life you want to live going forward, okay? The Queen of Swords and the Page of Wands are both forward focused, okay? It's also a time to get out of the a dry spell for some of you. If you've been in a creative dry spell, or having writer's block, or, you know, a sexual dry spell, I do feel it's time to get out of that. Both of these people have this gesture of forwardness. So be really clear on what you want to create going forward by really letting this old baggage go for once and for all. There's no need to mourn toxicity, Pisces. You know, it's just because it served no purpose beyond you realizing that you want something better, okay? So let's get into your whole spread and take it from there. All right, Pisces. So I feel like you guys swapped places with Aquarius this month, especially since your overall energy is the King of Swords and theirs was the Moon. Ooh. For those of you that either have Pisces and Aquarius placements, I feel this is going to be particularly important for you, or if you're dealing with an Aquarius, or, you know, vice versa, whatever. There's a lot, I think, that you're trying to accomplish. And though your connection to all that is non-physical is very powerful and has the ability to really allow you to tap into things that other people will live and die and never tap into. And that's admirable, Pisces. But the changes that you're seeking and the shifts that you're wanting to make in your life are not really found in your feelings. And it's not because they have no emotional basis. It's just because if we do not fuse the other point, like I was telling Aquarius, like I keep staring at this stone that I just didn't bring to the table till I started this reading. Notice how there are 2 points that intersect. Okay, they support each other, but they're two separate entities. Okay, so your emotional body is separate from your mental body, and they need to work together in that they need to communicate and support each other, but they serve two separate purposes. Okay, so this month you really need to get clear, and get rational, okay, about where you see your life headed. Because overall, I think most of you feel blocked, but it's because you're taking everything very personally and you're taking everything to heart. And I know you're saying, well, it's my life. Of course it's personal. And yeah, I know it feels personal. Hello, Scorpio Moon, I get it. I take everything personally. But as we ascend on this spiritual journey, we know that we have to allow things to pass through us because they can only serve us so much of a purpose. Because there's this future that you desire for yourself, Pisces, and you're struggling to bring it into fruition because it's like everything is just weighing on you emotionally, okay? You have the 10 of Wands in your heart space with the rune journey. Everything has been feeling to you like a very laborsome, emotional journey. Like a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of needing to like really dig in and get deep about what's happening. And there's a need to not take things to heart this month because you've already emoted whatever needed to be processed. I don't think there's anything left to handle on that level. Now is the time to bring up what you learned emotionally into your mental realm and make decisions, okay? I feel that decision making is imperative this month. I think you will slide through it, unlike Aquarius, who is having a difficult time getting in touch with their feelings. I think that you're going to slide on through. And for some of you, this is related to love. But more than love, I feel this is related to how you see your life and life goals. Like, depending on your age, obviously they will vary, but it's like, how do I have the house, the kids, the partner, the job? How do I make all of it happen? Whatever your ideal life is, whatever you've been wanting to bring into fruition for quite some time, and how you see your lifestyle being 20 plus years into the future, that's what you're struggling with. And I think that you're taking the littlest things that are happening right now to heart. And you have to remember that on earth, you know what I mean? We have time. We don't, in the non-physical, I think you want, being that you're so out there, I think that you want it all right now, because you know that technically in that realm, it all is possible right now. But on earth, we have to deal with Saturn. We have to deal with time. We have to take one step at a time. And all we have is today. All we have is the now. So if you're looking to create a future that you desire, all you can do is take the steps that are available to you right now. You can't just catapult yourself into a future position. What you're being asked to leave behind this month is the Queen of Cups with the Magician. Okay, and on the Magician we have future. So some of you may, this is not for all of you, but I feel some of you may have been trying to manipulate another water sign or someone that has a very strong emotional connection with you to build a certain type of future. Or in general, I do feel this Magician has more manipulative energy this month, and it's not necessarily a negative thing like you were trying to hurt somebody, but I do feel that you've been trying to manipulate the energy around you to, again, like I said, catapult and cast this very, very, very particular future. And I think you want to like snap your fingers and have it all happen. And when you come back to the reality that you can't do that, it's like, oh, this is so hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's like being on earth is so hard today. Like, it's one of those vibes. So remember, again, that with the Queen of Cups and the Magician, our emotions serve a purpose in that they tell us what we want and what we do want. But beyond that, when it comes to making things tangibly on the physical realm, again, our future happens today through every action and decision that we make. So there's no need to try to manipulate things and manipulate scenarios in order to cast a specific future, but just using what you have right now. So don't worry about changing your feelings or, trying to gain power over your emotions to change your future, if that makes sense. Yeah, we have the Seven of Crystals again. Because I know you've been waiting. It feels like you've been waiting forever. But the way that you need to take charge is through self-empowerment on the physical realm and getting back in touch with your fire. Okay, because the only fire that we have here is the Ten of Wands in your heart space, which is being just overwhelmment. Okay, so it's kind of time to step away from the water. You know what I mean? Purify yourself and just kind of be done with dealing things on an emotional level for a little while, because it's time to kind of get down to the nitty gritty on a physical realm. Like, get your hands in the dirt, kind of get real, if you will. What door is now open for you that was once closed? We have the Two of Swords with the rune Female and the Fool with the rune Home. So some of you, if you are a woman, I feel that you're having to decide what type of life or home life or what type of home you want to move to, have, all that kind of stuff. Like your domestic life. Remember I was saying that in the beginning, domestic life. You want for yourself. You're like, what kind of woman am I at this point in my life? What am I after? What is going to make me feel free? Because this is something, I think you had to really leave something old behind. And again, I think it was emotionally burdensome in some regard. If you're a man watching this, I think that you're trying to decide if the woman in your life is, or if you're heterosexual, if the woman in your life, you can really build a home with her, and how you're going to do that. But overall, with the Two of Swords and the Female rune, this is saying that when it comes to your feminine body, right? When it comes to your ability to be receptive, your ability to tap into your intuition, are you gonna let that
solely dictate what type of home you're going to have in the future. Because there's also this level of passivity that I feel like is getting incorporated. And it's like we can't leave our intuition out of our decision making, but we can't also solely make our decisions from our emotions. You know what I'm saying? So there needs to be like a balance of both. Okay? If you want a certain type of future, you need to take the tools that are in front of you right now, but also pay attention to what your intuition is saying. So it has to be a combination of both. Because with the Fool in home, some of you may be deciding to change homes. Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to rent a home? Do you want to move away? Do you want to move across country? You know what I mean? All this different type of stuff. And how are you open to your intuition playing a role in that? Because I feel like it's like you're either all in your bag or you're all in your head, and you got to find that middle ground, okay? Because Spirit really wants you, yeah, 10 of Cups, to either, again, if you're a woman, really assess what you see your perfect ideal picture like. That makes sense? I feel like I'm not even speaking English. You know, what kind of home life do you want for yourself? What type of future do you see for yourself? And how can you make that happen? Like, what steps can you take to make that happen today? And again, if you're a man watching this, I think that you're trying to evaluate how feminine energy and also potentially women, what type of home life you want to be able to provide for them. Okay. Your current energy as it relates to all of this. In your head, we have the Page of Cups. Again, in your heart, the 10 of Wands with the Rune Journey. And in your foundation, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords. Now, these two in your foundation really are speaking to you feeling like your plans, your like lifelong plans, I feel like very long-term plans are blocked. Okay, and you're not able to have it. And you're not able to achieve something. But again, I think it's because there's a lot of contingencies. It's like, well, I can't have a happy home life if I'm alone. Or I can't buy a house if I'm alone. Or I can't be in a happy relationship if I don't have the money to buy a house. Like there's all these mental incapacities. That even makes sense. But again, there's like this deviation of the heart and the mind, and you need to really bridge that gap. Because the Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving energy. There are certain things in life that take time to come to fruition, and that's not a bad thing, but if you think that slow means never, that is a problem. You know what I mean? So there needs to be a little bit more maturity in the way that you think about things and not letting so much ego or pride are just fallacies like that have been implanted by other people tell you what you can and cannot do. Because again, we have the Emperor behind that and then the 7 of Swords. So are you going to let a very rigid mind state or what you were told societally a man is, like are you going to let societal constructs tell you what success is, tell you what you're supposed to be doing or what you're not supposed to be doing and how you're adequate or inadequate? Because that's why you feel so overwhelmed emotionally about where life is headed. It's like, I don't have the money. I don't have the house. I don't have the family. I don't have this. I still do this. Like it's a very big picture for you this month. So how this is manifesting in a more detailed manner is going to vary widely for each of you. But this is very about big picture stuff. And you just need to take things one day at a time, Pisces. With Page of Cups in your headspace, for those of you that feel like your biological clock is ticking, again, that's a little bit of a societal program. You can't control that. If you don't have a partner to have kids with and you don't have the money to, get in vitro or whatever, or do it on your own, then why even think about it? And I know that's like hard to swallow, but you can't really think about that. But other than that, with the Page of Cups in your headspace, there needs to be more compassion and a little bit of a return to innocence with the way that you think about yourself and about your life. Return to the things that really make you feel comforted, not in a passive way, but in a supported way. I do feel this has to do with your inner child as well, and really nurturing your mind. And maybe it's time to revisit your dreams. Like if you're trying to live out a childhood dream, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're trying to live out a childhood dream, I really would go back to the drawing board this month. And again, not scratch that dream, but find its roots. Trace the roots to the dream. Again, whether it be, again, a career dream, a familial dream, all that kind of stuff, a financial dream. I feel that there's a need to trace back why you want these things for yourself, okay? And just make sure that you line up with all of those values and all of those reasons, okay? Just double check. Spirit's advice for you this month, we have the Seven of Pentacles with the rune Fertility and the Hanged Man. So I do feel that you have planted a lot of seeds, Pisces. And technically, you know, Aries season is not harvest season. That's Virgo season. It's the season of planting. Aries is, you know, technically things start to sprout up and it's spring and things start to bloom, but it's just the beginning. So again, if you have this pressure of like, where is all of it? You know, that's kind of unrealistic. So the Hanged Man on the Seven of Pentacles is saying like, really evaluate why you're worried about things not manifesting. Because the Seven of Pentacles is also about worrying and kind of wanting to dig up the seeds and check on them. Like, do you have faith that you planted the right seeds? Because if you have faith, then there's no need to be concerned. Because the Hanged Man here is saying that you will gain a lot of speed with this Eight of Wands. You will gain a lot of speed on the growth of your seeds and bringing that very fertile energy, catapulting it into the future if you just look at your life from a different perspective. Yeah, Eight of Cups, moving away from this old emotional identification system of how you gauge your own success. Yes, and the Ten of Crystals. So I don't think there's anything that you actually have to change, Pisces. Like nothing actually has to shift. You just have to flip everything on its head and view it from a much more detached standpoint. The King of Swords isn't emotionally invested in what he assesses and what he discerns, okay? He takes an elevated approach and he looks at everything from an advanced vantage point. So as you look at the seeds that you have planted for yourself in your life and what has driven you to this point, you have to see the abundance and the fertility that you have been blessed with and then turn to the seeds that have started to sprout leaves or have started to bloom and say thank you. Because I don't think that you're missing everything out of your big picture, your ideal big picture. I think that you're just missing some. At the very least, you know what I mean, you have one thing. And you need to nurture your successes. Okay, you need to nurture your blooming products, and you need to also, it's kind of like with plants, like how if you play them music or you talk to them, they do better. So speak on your dreams and speak to your goals in a very kind and loving manner, in a very mothering manner, and I think that you're going to have a lot more success in that way as well. In the future, working into May, we have the Six of Swords and both the Nine of Cups and the Chariot. And on the Nine of Cups, we have marriage. So if marriage is something that you desire for yourself in the future, I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, obviously, but I do think that you're on the path and you're done. With the Six of Swords here, I think you're done thinking negatively about not being able to have that. Again, I do feel this is big picture stuff for the Pisces here. So whatever type, because it's on the Nine of Cups, so it's a kind of a selfish type of desire, which isn't bad. So I don't see this as actual moving into marriage, but I think it's more of about you thinking about, again, what type of lifestyle you would ultimately like to commit yourself to in the future, and moving away from talking about it negatively and realizing that you're not going to have to struggle for it, even if it doesn't happen on the old timeline that you were told was necessary in order to be like a good man or a good woman or whatever. You are going to be able to achieve that. With the Chariot here, there's a recognition that victory will ensue once we commit to our dreams. Okay, that's another thing here, because the marriage rune is always commitment for me as well. When we commit to our own personal satisfaction versus trying to satisfy external goals or trying to satisfy, again, goals that were placed on us as children or through society. When we just try to make ourselves happy, we actually have much more success, and we can successfully acknowledge where we have made life more difficult for ourselves and where we need to extend compassion. And the Six of Swords is saying that suffering is not going to continue to be a thing, and you may need to leave a few people behind, or you may need to leave some beliefs behind, but success is imminent, okay? So ease up the reins, Pisces. Now, you don't have to take everything so emotionally seriously. You know, it's all good. Knocking over my owl. Terrible. I am at ease with myself, and I am at ease with other people. I am even-tempered and emotionally well-balanced. So, I don't feel that you're really gonna be having all these discussions with other people, and I also suggest that you don't, because they're not gonna have answers for you, because they're gonna just talk about the Emperor. They're gonna talk about their own way of life, and that's not your life. Okay. So, I mean, it's one thing to talk to your spouse or, you know what I mean, the person that you're sharing a life with, but don't get too caught up in how your goals relate to other people's goals, because they're very personal, okay? Pisces, I love y'all, and I'll be back soon. Peace.